Okay, happy Thursday, everybody. I have the cards drawn out. For our overall energy, we have the Page of Cups with the Two of Cups. For our positive energies, we have the Sun with the King of Cups. For our negative energies, we have the Wheel of Fortune with the Seven of Wands. And for our advice cards, we have the Ace of Swords with the Four of Swords. If we're dealing with the numbers that are really popping out to me is definitely the number two. I know I only have the Two of Cups over here, but with the King of Cups and the Page of Cups, I see the two seahorses that are really prominent to me. Also, with the Sun card, I see like two different aspects of things, which is the sun and the universe. Okay. So the number two is definitely popping out to me and for me. If we're talking about signs, you know, I have of course I do have a water sign over here. Of course, we have three water cards over here with the Two of Cups, Page of Cups, and the King of Cups. So water signs are standing out really strong or appearing really strong in this reading today. I also have water with earth placements, possibly. Water with earth placements. I do have the Venus in Cancer. Somebody who's Venus in Cancer. Jupiter, if your Jupiter is in a fire sign, okay, that might have, some kind of significance here. Jupiter in a fire sign. Also, Jupiter in Libra. I don't know why, but sometimes Libras play off as sometimes Libras will show up as Queen of Wands in my decks when I'm pulling out cards. I do not know why. They have a fiery aspect to them. It's just how it is. So maybe somebody with their Jupiter, it's like somebody with the sun, their sun as in the water sign, okay? Libra, their sun in the water, sorry, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. And then they have either a strong earth placement or they might have a strong fire placement too, okay? But their sun sign is in water, sorry. Sun sign is on water. I also got the colors blue over here a lot with, the color reddish, even though these colors are like multi-facet colors, I'm getting the color red a lot. All right. So we could be dealing, it does align with the throat chakra. Um, and it also does align with the base chakra, okay? Which is all about protection and security. So let's just go ahead and jump right into the reading today, okay? Okay, for your overall energy for the day, I got the Page of Cups and I have the Two of Cups. Okay. Now it's very interesting because in the Gilded Tarot, I did talk about last time when I put out this card, I did talk about the seahorses. And again, I'm being pointed towards the seahorses. And after I gave that reading, I had, I got more download about the nature of seahorses and how, um, first and foremost, the roles are flip flop. The dad carries the father's the one that carries the babies, and the mother is just the mother acts like the man, the father, in what we're used to, and the father acts like the woman. He carries the babies, with the seahorses, and the woman kind of comes in and out every day, just checking on him a little bit, bringing him some food. So it's a non-traditional relationship, right? I also talked about how fragile seahorses also were. Now, again, looking at the Page of Cups, I'm definitely being drawn to somebody's childhood. Because as soon as seahorses give birth to their children, they act like reptiles where they don't really care for them. They're off to fend for themselves. You just grow up how you may be. And in this Page of Cups, I feel like I'm drawn to a person who didn't get enough attention during their childhood. Now, a lot of times for me, it's the cancers. The cancers are the ones that feel like every time I talk to a Cancer, they always feel like in their childhood, at home, they didn't get the love they were supposed to, at least the Cancers that I've talked to. So you could be dealing with the Cancer, okay? You could be dealing with the Cancer, but I have the image of somebody who didn't get the right nurturing when they're younger, so they don't necessarily know how to love. So when it comes to the Two of Cups over here, it's like, how do I love? I don't know how to love. I'm not exactly sure how to connect in this relationship. And I feel like it could be you or somebody else who's daydreaming about this, or somebody who's come to age or coming around that time where it's like it's time for me to connect, but I've never really learned how to connect, okay? And that's the energy that I am getting over here. And I feel like there's a lot of us out there who didn't get the love that we needed. So a lot of times it is hard to learn or know how to connect, especially if you didn't get it. I see that a lot with with water signs. They tend to be a little bit more emotional, and water sign children need a little bit more love and tender care than the other signs. Air signs aren't like that. They just need a little bit more mental stimulation. But when it comes to water signs, they need a bit more nurturing, right? So when we're talking about airs and water sign males, a lot of times they need a little bit more nurturing that they don't get, especially when it comes to Black communities. When we're thinking of men, like our men, we need them to be tough. So we're not going to give them that, we're not going to baby a water sign male who's coming from, a Black background. And it's like, how do I love in this situation? All right. So here we are at the Two of Cups. And how do I get there? And I'm looking at like childhood, uh, you know, childhood child rooted issues, okay? Childhood issues that are now becoming a problem when we're getting into this Two of Cups energy. And that's where we're at today at Thursday. Some of these issues may be coming up, okay? Some of these issues may be coming up. And then I see it very well with this card, especially because of those seahorses, and especially how we've made a whole monument out of these seahorses. This memory is well alive. This is what has brought me to this situation. Reading the When I'm reading the description of the Page of Cups in the Gilded Tarot, another thing too I do realize is that they talk a lot about how he's putting up a stern or a hard front, kind of like a Cancer, right? Where he has that tough shell, but inside he's really gooey, and he's a big old baby, but on the outside, there's this tough exterior, right? And that's kind of the description they're giving. And when you look at his face, you can kind of see, I'm tough, but he's not really a grown man yet in this card with this page over here, right? But I'm tough. Right? So we're putting on this tough exterior, but inside we're really wounded and we are actually hurt. We're soft on the inside, okay? And we're approaching relationships with this wound. We're approaching relationships with this. And this is where we stand this Thursday. Wow. So let's move on and let's see how this is going to play out, okay? Okay, now talking about the energies that are working for you. I have the Sun and I have the King of Cups. Now, this Sun energy over here in the Gilded Tarot, it's not just a picture of the sun with the child that we normally see. This is like a picture of the sun as in relation to the universe, okay? So we're thinking far out. And again, it gives me the feeling of looking at the bigger picture, the sun in relation to the whole entire universe or in relation to the planets. So you kind of get to see these planets surrounded by the sun, okay? And you see them lined up, and you're seeing the relation of the sun to the planets, and to me it's showing that you get clarity, okay? Or it could also be like the bigger picture of everything, okay? Coupled with the King of Cups over here. In the King of Cups, and starting out with the Page of Cups, now we have the King of Cups. And by the way, this is the second time I've pulled them both in the same reading. And it gives me the feeling today of somebody who has grown or who has matured. I don't want to say when you were a child and now you're older, because sometimes this energy comes out for adults and a year later you're now the king of cups. You know what I mean? So you matured. So this is an energy of somebody who's actually matured. We have gone from the page of cups to now the king of cups, but we still have the seahorses right now. These seahorses are on our throne that we're sitting on. So it's like, this is where I came up from. I came up from the seahorse childhood, from the non-traditional parenting and from the lack of nurturing up upbringing. Okay. That's where I came from. It is who I am. I can't remove that, from my past. I can't erase that from my history. It's just part of who I am. And that's why I sit on this throne. And here is this clarity as to this is who I am. This is why I am the King of Cups, because I came through this. I had to evolve through this. So this King of Cups maturing is like, I've had to mature from this is who I am. I've had to mature. And I have the Sun card over here because now I know how I relate as to everybody else. I know where I stand. I am more, because I came from a lack of emotion, I had to really work on that. Other people might have not had that plight in their life, Other people may have not had that burden to carry, but that was my burden to carry. Okay. So I'm looking at the bigger picture of who I am. There's that realization, there's that awareness. And in the Gilded Tarot, that's what they bring our attention to with the sun. With the sun popping up is more of the awareness of the planets, is more of the awareness of the universe, and not just that happy feeling that you get. Your happiness comes from understanding and not just from normally it's like a situation got me happy, right? The sun is shining. But the sun in the Gilded Tarot is more like it's that happiness from awareness. It's that calmness that I've gotten because I'm now aware of my placement, where I am and where I stand in the universe. And this is what I'm getting to. Like, this is what I've had to come up through. Okay. So the energies that are working for you on this wonderful Thursday is that you know where you come from, you know where you stand, you know where your strengths are, as far as relationships wise, you know where your strengths are. You know what you've had to come through just to be able to connect with other people. You might have been a person who had a hard time connecting with people. And over here, I see that the King of Cups might seem a little lonely. He is in the water all by himself, and I don't necessarily see people around him. It's just him on his throne on the water. I don't think where he can get to is easily to touch. You're going to have to swim over there. You're going to have to be a fish to get to where he is. You're going to have to um, be able to come to his level, which is in the middle of the ocean. His throne is in the middle of the fucking ocean. And I don't think, anybody can just come to that ocean. It almost seems untouchable. And it might seem lonely too. Like, I've had a soar from this height, and you might not understand. A lot of people be like, I came from the ghetto, and you're not going to understand how to get on this level unless you came from the ghetto. Only people who came from a ghetto or came from a hard upbringing, only the hard knocks know how to get on this level. And that's the type of feeling I'm feeling. This is the sun in relation to that. This is where I stand in life. This is why I am on this level, because I had to go through this to get here. And these are energies that are really working for you. You know where you stand. You know where your strengths are. You know why you are the King of Cups. Okay. And you know what your throne is made from. Like, I remember my past. I remember my upbringing. I remember where I came from. All right. And this sun is about clarity and awareness of who I am and where I came from and what I've had to come through. um Especially when it comes to relationships and connecting with people and then finding the one. Again, here he is, and as a child or as a younger person, he was looking, he's holding his cup, and I see these cups. He's holding his cup, and he it's like I'm almost dreaming, and when we look to the left, we see what he's dreaming. And now we have we have the sun, and you see, like, the type of connection he needs, or the people this person's going to connect with, need to be able to connect with him on this deep level. Like, these are the people I connect with. It's hard sometimes when you've come from a rougher background. I've seen this with a lot of people who come from the military, right? We go through this whole war phase, we see some gruesome stuff, and then we come back into everyday life and it almost seems meaningless and everything just seems kind of fake. I was talking to one guy, he said everything kind of seemed fake to him. Like, people are worried about fake things or meaningless things. A lot of things seem meaningless because he's seen a harsher side of life. So everything else just seemed pretend. But he could connect with people who have seen that harsher side of life too. And that's what I'm getting. It's all about who we connect with and why we have a harder time connecting with people. And the reason why we are able to connect with them is because we've seen that harder side of life. So it's only people who connect with us on this deeper level. I hope you get what I'm saying, okay? But there's that awareness of why. I got this lonely feeling with the King of Cup over here where he's by himself. But it's like, I understand why I'm lonely. I understand why I'm here by myself. You know how they say it's lonely at the top? I get to the top and it's lonely because nobody understands, the few people at the top. You don't understand how I live. And that's the feeling I'm getting. But there's this awareness. So it's not a sad I'm alone. It's not a, oh my God, I'm by myself, I'm alone. It's just that awareness. And that's what brings you joy. Okay. So let's get on to the energies, the next energies. Okay. The energies working against you today. I have the Wheel of Fortune and I have the Seven of Wands. The Wheel of Fortune and the Seven of Wands. The Wheel of Fortune is ruled by Jupiter. Okay. And I got the feeling, especially with the Seven of Wands here, it's like, you know what? Now that you're going through good times, after you've gone through the pain, after you've gone through all the bullshit, here you're finally winning in life. And that's what I'm going to call it, winning. I'm finally winning in life. And I find myself having to defend my position. And looking at the overall reading is kind of annoying here because it's like nobody defended me when I was not getting the love that I needed, when I had to push through all of that. Nobody even defended me when I was by myself on my throne in the middle of the sea. But here I find myself, after going through all the hardship, after going through everything, I find myself having to defend my position. All right. And I feel like it's also due to your lack of and your inability to connect with people. And that's what the problem and the issue is, especially looking at the overall reading with the Two of Cups up there. It's not just a relationship that I'm looking at. I'm looking at your ability to connect, period, with people. At first I was talking about a love relationship, but as I kept reading these cards, I got the feeling it's not just a love for one other person, but a love for your people all together. People love people they can understand and connect with. And it seems like people cannot connect with you. They can't connect with your fortune. It's like you're so far out of reach that now they're going to demand for you to, you're going to have to defend your position if you want to stay up there. People just don't understand how far you've come along and how far you came to, what you had to go through to get to where you're at. And I guess now you have to find yourself. Now, this Seven of Wands is really interesting because, the traditional, and a lot of times I like to reflect off the OG Rider-Waite deck, right? The original gangster Rider-Waite deck. And the thing with the Rider-Waite deck is, I find that in the Seven of Wands, the guy is not prepared. His shoes are mismatched, So I could tell it's like I had to get dressed in a hurry. I am not prepared for this. But in this one, he is fully dressed and he actually looks good, okay? I love these colors. It's like he's a well-dressed man. He knows how to dress properly. And he is defending his position. These wands coming at him again, you can't even see where they're coming from. A lot of times, you can't even see where the attack is completely coming from. Have you ever, been attacked and you don't know exactly where is this shit coming from, And that's the feeling I get. Like, where the fuck is this shit coming from? Like, why are you guys challenging me? Why am I even being questioned here? And that's the feeling that I get with these cards, okay? Um, let me see. Let me see. There's something about the lion here, and this is not the first time I've looked at his mouth and been like, why is his mouth blue? Okay. This lion's mouth is blue. And I've questioned this quite a bit. Like, why is his mouth blue? And it might be about the way, the lion speaks, which is interesting for whether this is how you get on top. Even though a lion is prideful, right? This is a difference because the lion is on top at this moment and he is the king of the jungle. But in this instance, it's also about the way the lion talks. The lion talks calmly. Okay. So this might be a clue as to how you stay on top. We're messing with a lot of wandy energy over here. And even though the Wheel of Fortune itself is a fiery card, okay, is ruled by Jupiter, it is a fiery card. We have the Seven of Wands over here, which is a very wandy card. But here we are with the lion and the blue mouth, meaning when you speak, you might have to speak in a calm manner, okay? You know, there might be a thing about your throat chakra might be what may get you to kingdomship over here to rule the situation. Okay. I just really keep saying, why is his mouth blue? But I feel like everything in tarot, in the pictures are definitely valid when you're seeing everything. Even sometimes, the creators or the artists might even themselves think they made a mistake when it was supposed to be, or that is how it came out. Divinely, that's how it was supposed to happen, right? I don't necessarily think it was a mistake. He's just too careful for that. Um, but it's interesting. He has a blue mouth. So it's about the throat chakra, it's about the way you speak, having that imbalance, being able to communicate in such a way as to calm the people down or to get to the heart of the people is what will work here. It also may be about the way you speak. That may be the issue here too, okay? It's the way we speak that may be our issue. All right. And again, it might have to do with you know, deeply rooted things, things that happened from our past, from our childhood. That's the way we were. That's how it happened. That's why I'm sitting on my throne by myself. And you're going to be attacked and you're going to have to defend your position and this is where we go with it. All right? So, that's what I see over here. Let's go on to the advice cards. Okay, so getting to the advice cards, we got the Ace of Swords and the Four of Swords over here. So we get into the Swords energy for advice, which is really drawing our attention to our speech, our minds, and our speech, okay? And I feel like the way you talk is definitely going to help you win in this situation, okay? How you verbalize your ideas, your thoughts, your mindset or your views, okay, is really going to help you to win in this situation. As you can see, my eyes were drawn to why the lion's mouth was blue. And over here, I got the swords over here, and they're also blue, if we can see, or the swords have blue gemstones or blue crystals on them, But they have little blue designs on them, even a blue rope over here, which really draws my attention to, it's going to be your mind and your speech that is going to help you through this. Okay. And with the Four of Swords, I feel like there'll be time for you to recuperate, or there may be a time for you to recuperate. The negative energy was wandy, it was fire, getting hot headed and fighting in that hot-headed, my Saggies are my hotheads of the astrology, my Saggies are the hotheads. And it's so funny that we're dealing with fire energy, and they're saying that that's in the wrong, that Jupiter energy and that fire energy is the energy that's going to work against you, but it's telling you to get more into your swords energy. We're trying to get into the blue more. A more blue energy will help you stay on top, right? Even though some of you guys, you may be a fire sign, or you might have some placements in fire that really can make you, when you set off, when you go off, it's like I go off. We could turn this into a battle, but we're saying that's, the cards are showing me that's not how you're going to win here. It's an issue of being able to connect with people. And I feel like, I'll say it again, I said it before, that you probably always had an issue connecting with people because you weren't necessarily nurtured the way you needed to be. And that part of you wasn't really developed. Okay. So you're able to succeed, you're able to win, you're able to get there, but connecting with people is your issue. And that is why you're most likely having these issues. So people are going to come and challenge you. And the problem is that you're not connecting with people. So again, it's telling you to go back here, and you probably know that, but it's telling you to not get upset about it. You may already know who you are, you know your strength, you're fully aware of who you are, where you came from, why you are the way you are. But now it's asking you to get more into your um, energy, where you're with the swords energy. Air signs, they talk, but when you master your speech, it's about knowing the power of words and our speech, right? So when you've mastered your speech, you know how to get information to people without resistance. And that's what the situation is. You know what I mean? When air signs are talking, even if it's a tough situation, they can get your attention. They can get you to understand without you resisting it. Sometimes somebody could be giving you a good message, but they resist your message because of the delivery. Okay, so we're also talking about how we're delivering information. Okay, how are we going to be delivering information? And that's part of the issue. Some of you guys with the Four of Swords over here might need to recuperate, to take a minute and figure out, how am I going to present my speech or what I want to say, instead of just saying it, okay? Some of you guys, when you just start flowing and reacting, people are not accepting you properly. You're meeting resistance, lots of resistance, okay? But if you're able to connect, and in order to connect, you have to literally speak to people. And you might have to take your Four of Swords moment where we're recuperating. But in this time of recuperation, we're thinking of, how are we going to speak to people? How are we going to get this message across? How am I going to get my idea, or who I am, or explain myself, or defend myself without resistance? Okay. And that's the Vice card. Okay. It's all about the way you talk. Some of you guys might not be natural talkers. Some of you guys might not be, natural talkers, like somebody who's an air sign, but they're asking you to delve into this energy. Okay. So it might just be something you have to work on. I always tell people, we're trying to get to Emperor, Empress status. And the Empress or Emperor has all four suits in them, right? All four. They have the water, they have the air, they have the earth, okay? And they have the fire, okay? So they have all four. They've developed all these aspects. So in order to get to Empress status, you're going to have to master all four aspects. Okay. And again, that's why Spirit is asking you to delve into more of your swordy aspect and develop that side of yourself. Okay. It may not come natural to you. If you're an air sign, then talking comes natural to you, right? But it doesn't mean that you can't develop that side if it doesn't come natural. You just might have a longer way to go than an air sign. You might have to work harder at it than an air sign. It may not come natural, but you can definitely work on it, okay? We can all get to emperor, empress status. That's all I got to say. And Spirit is saying, in order to stay on top, in order to win this situation, you're going to have to get into air sign mode, okay? So that's just what you're going to have to work on today. I hope you guys enjoyed this message. Have a wonderful day. I'll be back to talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.